Section 2.4. Students will learn how to apply multi-step equations in solving real-world problems. So let's start with the definition of a perimeter. So perimeter is the measurement of the distance around the outside of this figure. If you have a rectangle, this will be your length. You have your width. If you're going to add the distance around outside the figure, you will have L plus W plus L plus W. If we combine like terms, we will have 2L plus 2W equals P.
Let's have our first example. Given a rectangle, the length is 6 more than twice the width. If the perimeter is 6 inches, what is the width of the rectangle? So first, what I need you to do is highlight the things that we need.
Okay, we have the length is 6 more than twice the width, and then the perimeter is 60 inches. Let's start by writing the formula for the perimeter of a rectangle. Okay, 2L plus 2W equals P. Now 6 more than twice the width, I can write L equal to 6 plus 2W. Now the perimeter is given, so P is equal to 60. The question is, what is the width? So first, I'm going to replace L here by 6 plus 2W. Next, we are going to distribute our 2 to our 6, and then 2 times 2W. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 2W is 4W. Bring down your 2W, bring down your equal sign, and 60. Next, let's combine like terms. 4W plus 2W is equal to 6W. Subtract 12 to both sides. We'll get 48 on the right side. Next, divide 6 to both sides. We'll get W equals 8. And then we're done. This is now the width of your rectangle.
Next question. Lucy is framing a rectangular picture with a perimeter of 120 inches. The width is double the length. What are the dimensions of the frame? So again, let's try to highlight what are given in this problem.
We have the width is double the length. So how are we going to write this in a mathematical expression? W equals double the length, so that's 2 times L. Okay, the perimeter is 120, so P equals 120. Question is, what are the dimensions of the frame? So let's start with the formula. Next, we are going to replace W by 2L. So 2L plus 2W, but W is equal to 2L. Simplifying 2 times 2W, we are going to get 4W. Now these two are like terms, so 2L plus 4L is equal to 6L equals 120. Divide 6 to both sides, we'll get L equals 20. Now since the length is equal to 20, we will be able to find the value of our width. Just replace your L here by 20. So L equals 20, W equals 2L. Replacing your L here by 20, you'll get 2 times 20 equals 40. So your L is equal to 20 and W is equal to 40. Next question.
Sally is creating a rectangular quilt and the length is equal to 5 inches less than the width. The perimeter is 50 inches. What are the dimensions of the quilt?
I'm going to ask you to solve this problem. Go ahead and pause the video and solve this question. Note that you are being asked to solve for the dimensions. It means that you need to find the length and the width. Alright, let's have our next problem.
Nancy is fencing in an area for her dog to play. The perimeter is 100 feet and the length and width are equal. What is the length and width of Nancy's yard?
Again, the given or length and width are equal. So we can say L is equal to W. Perimeter is 100 feet, so P is equal to 100. Now, what is the length and the width? Starting with the formula 2L plus 2W equals P, replacing our L here by W, we'll have 2W plus 2W equals 100. Now, of course, you can also replace W here by L, and you will be able to get the same answer. 2W plus 2W is equal to 4W equals 100. Divide by 4 both sides, we'll get W equals 25. Now, since L is equal to W, then we can say then that L is also equal to 25. Next,
Ben fenced his backyard using 384 feet of fencing. The width of his yard is 12 feet less than twice the length. Find the equation that can be used to determine the dimensions of his yard.
so again, given W is, I have here, W is equal to 12 feet less than twice the length. So how are we going to write this into a mathematical expression? So remember, less than, we have to write this backwards. Should be 2L minus 12. Next, the perimeter is given to be 384 feet. So we are going to replace W here by 2L minus 12. Since the problem is only asking us to find the equation that we can use to determine the dimensions of his yard, we are done. We just need to get the equation, and the equation is 2L plus 2 times the quantity 2L minus 12 equals 384. Now, if the question is find the dimensions of his yard, then we have to proceed and solve for the width and the length. So to proceed, we have to distribute our 2 to the quantity 2L minus 12. You are going to get 4L and then minus 24. Combining like terms, 2L plus 4L is equal to 6L. Bring down minus 24 equals 384. Add 24 to both sides, you'll get 408. Divide by 6, you are going to get 68. Now remember, we are trying to get the dimensions. We are not yet done. We only have the length. We have to find the width also. So L is equal to 68. W is equal to 2L minus 12. Replacing our L here by 68, you will have 2 times 68 minus 12. 2 times 68 is equal to 136 minus 12 will give us 124. So this will be the answer. Our next question.
Okay, so we have here Mathematical's rental car charges a flat fee of $15 per day plus a quarter for each mile driven. The total charge for one day's rental was $105.50. So let's find the equation.
So we have here a flat fee of $15. So the moment that you enter the car, you have to pay $15. And then you have to pay additional 25 cents for each mile being driven. So you will have 0.25 per mile. Now, one day, the total charge will be $105.50. So we can find the equation by 0.25 per mile, which can be represented by 0.25x plus the flat rate of $15 equal to 105.50. And this will be our equation. Consecutive integers. So consecutive integers are integers that follow in sequence, each number being one more than the previous number. So if we are going to start with 10, the next number will be 11 and then 12. So 10, 11, 12 will be consecutive integers. If you have negative 5, the next number will be negative 4 and then negative 3. So negative 5, negative 4, negative 3 will be considered consecutive integers. This will be the expression that we are going to use to represent consecutive integers. If n is our first integer, the next integer will be n plus 1, followed by n plus 2, followed by n plus 3, and then n plus 4, and so on and so forth. So let's have an example. If n is equal to 2, then if we replace all n's here by 2, you will have 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 plus 3 is 5. And this will be your consecutive integers, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if your integer is, let's say, negative 9, so the next integer will be negative 9 plus 1, which is negative 8. Negative 9 plus 2, which is equal to negative 7. Negative 9 plus 3 is equal to negative 6. So negative 9, negative 8, negative 7, negative 6 will be your consecutive integers. So n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus 3, and so on and so forth will be the expression that we are going to use to represent consecutive integers. Okay, let's have our first example. The sum of three consecutive integers is 234. Find the integers. So here I have three consecutive integers. So we can use the expression n plus 1, n plus 2, where n is our first number, followed by n plus 1, and then n plus 2. It says here the sum is equal to 234. So we are going to add n plus 1, and n plus 2. The sum is equal to 234. Combining like terms, n plus n equals 3n plus 3 is equal to 234. Subtract 3 to both sides, you'll get 231. And then divide by 3, we are going to get 77. So n here is our first integer, 77. To get the next integer, we are going to add 1 to 77, which is 78. And then we add 2 to 77 to get the third integer, 79. So this will be the answer. Alright, for this problem, I need you to pause the video and solve for the answer. The answer will be negative 44, negative 43, negative 42. Next, the sum of four consecutive integers is 262. Find the integers. So in this problem, we have four consecutive integers. So to represent this, we are going to use n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus 3. N is the first integer, second integer, third integer will be n plus 2, and the fourth integer will be n plus 3. It says here the sum is equal to 262. So you just have to add each of these expressions. n plus 1, n plus 2, n plus 3 should be equal to 262. Go ahead and solve this equation. Pause the video. Once you're done, check your answer. So the answer that you have to get is 64, 65, 66, 67. And that's our video 2.4.